Alright, welcome to another video with study questions, and this is linked to another video that I've done in terms of how do we use our time wisely so that you can focus. Right? You know that you've been specific with your plan. You've said, okay, I'm going to do some acceleration calculations in this half an hour block here, and out of my half an hour I know that I'm going to spend 15 minutes on acceleration, and I'm going to spend 15 minutes with my learning prep and my homework that I need to do before next lesson. Well, here's the thing. In that half an hour, you can be distracted, especially with today's technology, right? So you want to minimize your distractions. So you want to have your phone on silent, or better yet, put it in another room. So an alternative room. That way you can resist the temptation that you are in, where you hear a little bing or you hear the phone vibrate. You go, oh, I wonder if that's a notification from such and such. Get rid of that temptation. Give yourself 30 minutes dedicated time so that you can focus. Okay? So that's one thing that I would do, is ensure that you're focused. If you're using an electronic device, let's say using your computer or your iPad, make sure that you turn notifications off. That you only use one tab. So if you are watching a video like this one here, you've got one tab open and that you're focused on that tab. You haven't got multitude of tabs open that are tempting you to go and flick between tabs. I know a lot of you like watching YouTube videos or listening to YouTube videos or listening to music while you study. And that can help sometimes, but very rarely does it help you focus on really deep thinking, hard content that you really need to work on. So I would say that really, unless it's work that is very repetitive, I would be doing it in silence, all right? So make sure you have a silent environment. That's going to help you focus. I mean, let's face it. You want to replicate the environment that you are going to be performing in. Think about it from an athletic point of view. An athlete, a marathon runner, is going to be running, right, 42 kilometers. And when they train, they want to train their body so they're physiologically used to those conditions. Their body understands what it feels like to run 42 Ks. Your mind needs to be psychologically honed so that it knows what it feels like to concentrate for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, however long it takes you to run. Speaking of running, we've got a running drip there, right? You, as an athlete, want to make sure that you physically and mentally, you've experienced what it feels like. Well, you want to do the same thing when you study. When you want to do a maths problem, you want to make sure that it's in the same environment that you're going to be doing your peak performance at, in, say, an exam. And in an exam, you don't have music playing. You don't have YouTube playing. Okay? You have a silent environment. So you want to try and replicate that same sort of condition so that you know what it feels like. Your brain understands how to think in a silent environment, because that's how you're going to be tested, in a silent environment. So that's why we sort of look at those sort of things as well. So what are some of the things you need in order to focus? Silent environment so you can hone in on the important stuff. Get rid of distractions, right? One tab open on your device that you are using. Turn notifications off. Take your phone out. If you, of course, have longer periods of study, you want to make sure that you already have food there. Now, of course, this is what I've just said about replicating the environment. You still need to give your body some sustenance while you're studying for long periods. So make sure you've got food and drink handy. Because, like all of us, you hop out of your study room, right, out of your bedroom, wherever you're studying from, and in the process of finding food, you get distracted and you don't come back to study. So you want to minimize those distractions by having everything at hand. Okay, I hope that helps you with how do you improve your time management and how you can focus in your actual block. Combine that with planning and doing that frequently every day, and you'll get your study notes done on time, you'll get your assignments done on time, you get your homework done on time, and you will just realize that chipping away is the way to go. Alright, see you in this video where we look at more of your questions that you put forward about how to improve your study.